Hello, friends, and welcome to Lesson 7 of Unit 4, which will be on Digital Marketing Plan Hands on 2 session. So, as you know, we have been talking about the Digital Marketing Plan, and we did the hands on 1 in Lesson 6. And today we are going to continue with that preparation of Digital Marketing Plan, and we'll talk about touch points and budgeting today. So when we talk about the touch points, that means at present, if we talk of B2C and B2B, the same two businesses that we have been talking, one of the fashion designer, which is B2C, and the other one of B2B, which is for project management. Now, what are the existing touch points? How the fashion designer and the project management business is in touch with their potential clients? Are they using any of the existing channels? And if yes, how effective they are, and how many subscribers are there, how many people come to their website if they have one, how many people are the followers if they are blogging. So we need to know the existing touch points at this stage. So let us talk about B2C, the fashion design touch points first. So at present, the existing fashion designer, who is a female, she has a website, she's on Instagram, she has a Facebook page, and she's also on Pinterest. Now remember, she's doing this in her personal capacity, like a page on the Facebook, although she's using that for the fashion design work also, but it is more of a personal level. So now she has to move on to from personal to the professional one. And second, if she can, she should know the stats, that how many followers, how many people come in a day, what all things they like. So analytics will help her in getting those stats. So why we are doing it? Because it is always good to start from the existing touch points rather than going to the new one. And also to see if they are not worthwhile, we can come out with a new one. But if already it is giving you enough return, then we'll start from there. So that is the purpose. If we talk of the project management business under B2B, the touch points, now this business, since it has been in existence for 2 years, so they have more touch points. So they have a professional page on LinkedIn, and they are doing some ad work on Google search. They are on Facebook, they have their own website. They also have some demo videos where they showcase their product to the general audience. And they have a chatbot. They have a newsletter which they send to all the people who are their subscribers, and also to the links in the LinkedIn. And then they have a sports service. So they are more aggressive in terms of the existing touch points that they have. So we'll try to explore these and see whether we can take it further to the next level. So that is the purpose. So next we need to look at the budget. So when we talk about the budget, there are two ways. The order may vary. You may pick the channels and then decide the budget. But personally, I feel I should have the idea of the budget before I go to the next level, and I can keep my budget always flexible, not a lot, but some flexibility so that I can fine tune with the changing times. So we need to look at which all channels we pick, and accordingly we can fine tune the budget. But it is good to, personally speaking, to have the budget before we decide the channels. So for budgeting, let us go into the depth of that. So it should be flexible when you are doing it, but also it should remain flexible during the implementation stage. And generally, we follow revenue-based industry standards, the industry in which we are working. So there are certain standards, we can follow those. And you can use a volume and or target base. So I'll talk about both volume and target base. So generally for young businesses which are not older than 2 years, you have to spend very aggressively because you want to do the branding and you want your product or service to be known to the people. So it has to be more aggressive. And generally the trend is between 12 to 20% of the gross revenue. For example, if my revenue is 100K, so I'll be putting my budget for marketing, and I'm not saying just digital marketing, total marketing from 12 to 20K. So that's what we do for young business. And for businesses which are a little bit there in the market for 5 years and more, so you are more established, you are a little bit known, so there is less need for aggressive spend, and the general trend is 6 to 12% of the gross revenue that you put for your marketing. Now let us look at the budget for the fashion design and project management business. So I'll talk about both volume and target based. And generally what we do, and in this case also, in both these cases we'll be using both paid as well as organic. The reason is because one is not sufficient to achieve the targets, the goals that we have set. So mostly in case of new business, like in the case of B2C fashion design, uh, we are not very certain about the volume, so we'll go for the target based. So when we talk about volume and target based, you'll come to know. So for the project management, we are very clear that we need 200 leads, right? And we want at 25 cost per lead. So that's very clear to us. So this is comes out to be 5,000. So if I want 200 leads and I can spend up to 25 uh, per lead as my cost, so my total budget comes out to be 5,000K. If I want to achieve that over 2 months, so per month it will be 2.5K per month. So that comes out to be my budget, uh, which is the volume based budget. So if I talk of the fashion design, so we are not very specific in terms of the volume that we would like to have, but here we are fixing a budget of 1,000. So for a budget of 1,000, we are looking for 1,000 followers over 3 months. So it comes out to be around 333 per month as my budget. And the cost per acquisition would be $1 because there are 1,000 followers and my budget is 1,000. So $1 per acquisition is going to be my cost. Now, many times we budget for the return on investment, as you have studied in your finance classes also. So, for example, for the project management business, we have set up a goal of 250% return on investment. So, how we look at that? So, let's take one example. So, generally, the bigger businesses they spend as long as the ROI is on target. So, they keep on spending as long as their return on investment is being met. Now, whereas the medium and small scale businesses, what they do is they try to have a revenue target. So they want the revenue target to be there. So they will not go lesser than that. And also the return on investment. An example could be like in our case for the project management. So let us say the example is 300 return on investment, and at the same time I want to earn at least 100k. So there are two things. One is return on investment, and the revenue I want to generate is 100k. So the budget would come out to be very simple as 33.3, because I want 300 return on investment. So 3 times my budget, 33 into 3, it gives me the total revenue, which is 100k. Excuse me. Uh, we need to understand, with respect to the budget, three terms that one we just discussed is return on investment. But what is the relation between lifetime value, the return on investment, and return on ad spend? Now we would like to discuss that with respect to the budget. If you remember, uh, we had asked for return on investment, which is 250% for the PM business, and they have a monthly recurring revenue. For example, uh, MRR stands for monthly recurring revenue. That the project management business, what they are doing is they are having a subscription which is $10, and this is for the average 12-month membership, which they give with a subscription of $10. So, so the lifetime value which we are looking for any customer is for 12 months, they are going to pay me $10 per month. So it is lifetime value is $120. So let us now compare lifetime value and return on ad spend and try to understand, because if I am using return on ad spend for my budgeting, so I need to understand what is the relationship between lifetime value and return on ad spend. So for example, my return on ad spend I am saying is 250%, not return on investment, but this is return on ad spend. So I want a return of 250%. So as you have seen, the lifetime value at 10 as my subscription is 120. Lifetime value for one subscriber is 120, right? And that means the spend that the budget I can allocate for one person would be 48. So that means 120 divided by 2.5. So that means if I spend 48, so I need a return on ad spend as 250%. So 48 into 2.5 will give me the total lifetime value, that is the total return as 120. And my return would be 120, which is the lifetime value. Okay. So, but if I talk about return on investment, which is 250%, so there is a difference between ad spend and return on investment. So when we talk of return on investment, so investment here, when we talk, so that 10 rupees at subscription has also some operational cost. So for example, that is $4. So now my subscription comes down to, after my expenses of operational cost, is $6, which I'm going to get from one user for 12 months, $6 per month. So that gives me a lifetime value of $72. So then my spend would be on each subscriber 28.8, right? So if I need a 250% return on investment, so I get 28 into 2.5, so I get 72 as the lifetime value, which is my return, which is 72. So you need to understand that. The last one about budgeting we need to calculate is a few of the things which are return on investment, lifetime value, which you saw, and the conversion rate and the cost per click. So cost per click, how much you are ready to pay, how will you calculate? So I'll explain that so that you can understand. So for example, there is a retail business or maybe the fashion design business that you're seeing, or but that is existing for some time here. The example is of a retail business where the average order value is 500. So on an average, any customer will order worth $500, and the average purchase frequency is 5. So the person is going to buy 5 times in the lifetime that you are looking at, right? Maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. And the conversion rate is 12%. So all the people who come to the website to purchase, only 12% buy. Okay, so these are the facts that you have with you. So I start with return on investment as a 400%. That is what I want. So my lifetime value, right? My lifetime value is 2,500. How that has come out? So lifetime value is my average order value is 500 and frequency is 5. So 500 into 5 will give me 2,500. So over a period of say, let us say 1 year, right? I'm going to have a lifetime value for one customer as 2,500, right? Very simple, 500 into 5. The average order value into the average purchase frequency, 500 into 5. So lifetime value is 2,500. Now, what is the maximum CPA, that is cost per acquisition, that you are ready to do? So I want return on investment as 400. So that means 2,500 divided by 4. I want 4 times on my investment, 4 times on my investment. That means per acquisition, if it is 625 into 4, I'll get a lifetime value of 2,500. So 2,500 divided by 4 will give me the maximum cost per acquisition. Now, if I talk about per transaction, so that means I have a frequency of 5 and there are 5 transactions within the year. So what I do is divided by 5, 625 divided by 5. So per transaction, my CPA should be 125. Cost per acquisition for one campaign will be 125. And if I want the CPC cost per click, what is the maximum I can spend, because the conversion rate is 12%. So 125, right, into 0.12. 125 into 0.12, because my conversion rate is only 12% of the people come to buy. So cost per click, how many people should click? So that is 15. So that is all what I have here. So last thing I would like to talk about budgeting is that there is no magic amount. It can be a lengthy process. As we have seen, there are many parameters, and you can understand your circumstances, you can prioritize, and you should not spread too thin. But if you are passionate about your product, go for it. So that is all, my friends, for this. So we talked about touch points, existing touch points, and the budgeting in detail. Here is a small quiz for you. What is CPA? What is ROAS? And when to go for target-based budgeting? I know these are simple. You have written your answers. Please compare. CPA stands for cost per acquisition. ROAS stands for return on ad spend. And generally you go for new business for target-based budgeting. So that is all from my side. If you have any questions, feel free to write to me. This is the same link for your further reading, which you can do. That's all for this lesson. See you soon. Bye for now. Shabba khair.